Honestly, this Nintendo, if it's not blinking at me, it's a solid gray screen. Oh well, nothing to do but to pull the game out and try blowing in it.
I can't explain.
I think you'd better.
Some assembly required.
Okay, Aiden, we've got the lab assembled. What's the big deal about me blowing into the video game cartridge?
The moisture in your breath will damage the video game.
Well, then what is the problem?
The thing that it plugs into, the game plugs into, is broken.
Okay, so I've got everything that we're going to need to fix this. I've got my soldering iron, my solder cleaner, my wire, my no clean flux. I've got the device we're going to install, my flush cuts, my wire cutters, my automatic wire cutters. I've got everything we need, right?
Nope.
No.
All we need is a screwdriver.
All we need is a screwdriver to do this. Okay, so all that we need to install today is the no blink win kit. This thing right here, and a screwdriver. Okay, well I guess, what do we do first to get into here?
Flip it upside down.
Okay, we gotta flip it upside down. And then...
Unscrew every screw.
Alright, let's get to screwing here. So, the no blink win, the problem going on here most likely is that my pins have gone bad and I'm not getting a good communication going maybe between the video game and the computer that the Nintendo runs on, or maybe the what's called the NES 10 chip, sometimes called the CIC lockout chip, right? So the way I understand it, there's two ways to disable the NES 10 security chip. I can either cut off the chip, cut off just one of the pins of the chip, or I can short that pin, which is pin number 4 on the chip, to ground, and that will disable the security check. And that's what's causing the flashing screen, right?
I think we should cut the chip.
You think we should cut the chip? Well, that's the good news about this mod, isn't it? We don't need to cut the chip. Uh-oh.
I got one.
It's raining screws.
Wait, what? That's odd. We're gonna need to take this cover off, too.
Okay, let's take the cover off. So, Aiden, tell me, what does this NES 10 chip do, the security lockout chip?
It locks out other original Nintendo games.
Or it locks out Nintendo games that aren't original. Do you know what video game system came before the Nintendo?
Nope.
Well, the most popular one at the time was a game system called Atari, and it had a problem. You think the problem was that they made amazing games? The problem was they made horrible games.
Horrible games?
No, they made just the worst games.
I remember you telling me that story.
That's right. And Nintendo came up with the idea of the lockout chip so that you could only play a game that had their special software on it, that had their chips on the video game. So, the lockout chip would send a signal from in here, and it would go to the cartridge. And as long as the cartridge sent the correct signal back, then it would know that this was an officially licensed Nintendo game, and it would boot up. Otherwise, it would just keep resetting and doing the blink, blink, blink forever. Was my video game blinking when I was trying to play it? No, it wasn't. So you know what that means?
It's broken.
It might be that the Nintendo is broken. It could be that the PPU, which was the chip used to do the graphics, is bad. Okay, so we're starting to see something, aren't we?
There's a lot of Then
So where do you think this is going to go in the end?
under here.
Kinda, it's going to go on the back side here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so
And
first
we're-
we got to take this black piece off, don't we?
Oh, I see it here.
Oh. So you can see, how does this work?
So you press it down, it clicks in something,
Uh-huh.
and then you press it down again, it pops out.
It sure does. So you see these pins on the inside? The way it would work is that when you pushed it down, you'd actually be pushing the game cartridge against these pins on the bottom. So as the pins on the bottom start to get worn out or pushed down too far, they'd no longer be making good contact and your game would be going bad. Ooh. So this is the piece that you have to replace from time to time.
So we should probably get more for our original Nintendo.
Maybe
These
something like this? Because what this one does is it doesn't use the ability to push down. It just grabs onto the game tightly from the get-go. So you don't have to push it down anymore.
I think we should still push it down.
Well, we're gonna swap this black push-down piece with the no blink win piece, and this one cannot be pushed down, so you're not bending any more pins. Here, let's go ahead
I
and take
think
off.
we should also
this
take
screw?
off this panel.
So, Nintendo was so worried about the bad video game market in America that they decided to make their console look like a VCR player. That's why they had you push down on the video game, which led to the issue that we're facing today. This is actually the second or third zero insertion slot for the Nintendo that I've had on this one Nintendo.
And I'll be
Okay, so
ready to pull it out.
So to do this one, you gotta slide it forward to get away from this. There you go. Keep sliding it. Gentle does it.
Gently.
There we go.
Whoa, I definitely want to take this panel off.
No, this is kind of looking dirty. Maybe we should take this more apart and take a look at the bottom to see if there's any
Yeah.
other problems going on with this.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, so to finish taking this guy apart, the only screw we have left is a screw here and a screw here. And I'm going to do this one because this one is right by the,
Motherboard.
well, it's right by the, where the voltage comes in, and that big capacitor. And that big capacitor tends to store electricity for a long time. So I'm going to take this.
Yes. And you've been zapped by one in the camera.
It's true, it hurts. All right.
And I've seen that capacitor.
Nope, that's right. In order to take this off, I got to take off this right here.
That cable.
Yeah, that cable.
So we will probably need your supplies.
That cable. No, just unplugs. And that cable. There we go. So here we go. And here you can see I've actually already done the mod once where I cut pin 4 of the NES 10 chip, which is this guy right here. And what I could have done instead is I could have cut it at the bottom and then jumpered it over to this last pin or the pin right across, and that would have taken it to ground and would have disabled it. The good news is that the no blink win not only solves the problem with this guy going bad, but it also disables this chip for you without having to do anything else. So looking at this side, everything actually is looking just fine.
Okay.
I'm not sure why it's looking so dirty on this side. Maybe something spilled on it at some point. What do you say we go get a toothbrush, a little alcohol cleaner? So to take off this piece, all you have to do is wiggle it off. Do you think you can do that? Here, go ahead. Got it. There you go. Right like that. So we're gonna clean these connectors to make sure we got a good connector, and then we are going to put the no blink win on, and we'll put it all back together. So what we're gonna do now, we're just gonna
Pour it on.
well, it's alcohol cleaner. This stuff will evaporate faster than I can clean it, to be honest. But just by doing that, I can get all this gunk cleaned off of it.
And that smell is strong.
Yeah, it is.
Dad, I'd like to know what these two things are.
Which two?
That and that.
Oh, the little black pads right there? They are for this guy. They were aligning holes. So what this guy is on, over in Japan, they had some expansion stuff that you could plug in. For one of the things you could get as an expansion was a gambling device, actually.
What's a gambling device?
It's basically where you pretend like someone might pay you a lot of money if you pay them a little money, and you just keep paying them and paying them until you run out of money and they have all your money. It's called gambling.
So, why would anyone want that?
That is a great question, buddy. Okay, so looking at everything else, since we have it apart, we just make that there's...
Some soldering we need to do.
We make sure that there's not any soldering we need to do. Actually, everything looks pretty good. I've done a fairly good job of keeping this clean over the years. This is the one from Grandma, actually. This is the first Nintendo Daddy ever had. We bought it in 1988, I want to say. Uncle Daniel, Uncle Andrew, and myself, we saved up a bunch of money so that we could afford to buy this with our allowance.
How much was it?
It was about $100, as I recall.
Oh, can't forget this guy.
That's right.
I feel like we should plug that in first.
You think we should plug this guy in first? Okay, so how do we install this?
I think this one goes in there.
Yeah, that's right. We install this at the bottom because this side up goes up. So let's
Can I plug it in?
please do.
Push it in?
Yep.
It's gonna be hard with the spikes.
All right. Now we got that installed. We can plug in this.
Wait, you should have that not going through that.
That's actually how it plugs in.
Why?
Someone thought that would be a good design. I'm not sure who, but someone did.
That is such a bad design.
I'm prone to agree.
So.
Okay, so now here's the original one that's clicky up and down, and here is the new one, which
You have no idea on this stuff.
which way does it actually go? I think it goes right like that. Now before we wire everything back up together, what do you say we plug this in and test it?
Yes.
Okay, you want to try plugging this one in? Okay, this will be our official test.
What do you need this one?
And this is the one that we'll use to see if it really works or not. This is The Legend of Zelda. You put it that way. You gotta give a real good firm push.
Oh,
Alright.
that will be impossible.
I'm going to turn on the power. Let's see how this goes.
It works. I got to try it. Where is the remote?
Everybody, that is the blinking light win from Arcadeworks. It's a little more pricey than buying just a replacement slot. We spent $30 to do this mod. But by doing this mod, we disabled the NES lockout chip, and we replaced the slot connector, and we'll probably never have to replace that again because this is a much better way since we're not pushing down on it. What do you think about this mod?
I'm gonna be able to play a version on Nintendo a lot more,
Yeah.
and
What's that
hopefully
mean?
it will work.
Did you just wink at me? Yeah, I think we will set it up, buddy, now that it's working.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was a good mod? And was it an easy mod? No.
Like, easy to put together maybe, but like, probably not easy to make.
Oh, yeah, you know what? That's fair enough. So it was easy for us to install, but the person who worked it out probably had to do a lot of work. You are absolutely right. And that guy, thank you very much, because thanks to him, we now have a working Nintendo game.
That was very complicated to make, probably.
Yeah, it was. And you know, like I said, it was a little more expensive. It cost us $30, but I think it was money well spent, because now we have a working Nintendo. Well, thank you so much for helping me, inventor Aiden. And until the next time, may the Lord bless and keep you. May he cause his face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. May the Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. Amen.
Amen.
Thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please be sure to hit that like button and share it with your friends. If you haven't subscribed yet, I hope you will. And be sure to hit that bell icon to be notified of all the updates I do on this channel. If you want to support the work I'm doing here, then I hope you'll consider becoming one of my Patreons, where you'll get early access to all kinds of videos.